What up, everyone? It's your boy Azir Brew coming back at you with another video. Now, this should be the last in the series for the Kodos videos. If you saw the video last week, that was the announcement that our clan leader passed away. Then we did one kind of in the middle when we were in the middle of the CVC. If you didn't know, Kodos wanted to get the 5 million points on a CVC and earn that badge. And then we want to just kind of make just as a kind of closing tribute to him. And in that first video, I did mention to everyone to please, leave a comment and whatnot. And so what we are going to do, read off a lot of those comments. Again, I do apologize. I read every single one. If I don't get to your comments, I read every single one. I do apologize, but I just went through and grabbed as many as I could, and that kind of represented kind of the tone and what Kodos meant to them, or just condolences to the family and stuff. But we do want to make this positive, and trust me, stick around to the end because I'm going to do one final send off, and that's going to just put the cherry on the top for our boy Kodos. So it is a good timing for me to record this today because the Hydra keys just reset, and I like knocking these out of the way right out the rip. And I do remember saying I want to show you kind of on my account some of the things he did for me, and we can just start with Nightmare. Now, I had some pretty decent Nightmare teams. I kind of just took the teams that I used to do crazy numbers with pre-Hydra nerf, and I just kept playing with those same teams because they were able to put up the right amount of points. But again, there is the Hydra clash that is impacted by the total clan's performance. And what I will say is Kodos did take, he took over my account, and that's actually how I got access to his account. It was around the February timeframe. He said, hey, let's look at all your teams. Let's rebalance them. And so he was able to crank out a couple extra million points out of all my teams. And you can see I even have like Brutal Kodos, and then I have my old hard team that he revamped. I don't know. I had some old ones, but anyway, I got this one. It's got his name on it. I just kept the names. Of course, I'm going to keep the names now, but here's my Nightmare team. Here we go. And yeah, so it went all the way through. Again, probably a good rotation. By the way, I do have a little caveat. I think there was one of the clan items in the mission for the 5-star soul, or it was during the not that, it was the community event, and there was a mission to last 175 turns on clan boss. And I know that they just lowered something just recently, but I never could do it with Nightmare because I was, I guess, 173. I guess I was better speed tuned. But yeah, we're gonna keep these results. Again, almost 500,000 points or so. Here we go, number one right there. And again, this isn't a competition for our clan mates or anything like that. We don't do that in the Coliseum cluster from that perspective, or at least TC2 does not do that. This is the Brutal team. Pop this off. And this is one of the things that he was amazing. And I do have several comments that I will read off here in just a few minutes that just kind of talked about that as well. Oh, I got a clan reward. I don't know what I got the clan reward for, but there you go. And you know what? Might as well finish off the hard with the ninja team that he did. By the way, I always have to check. Don't you wish that when you click into these and you hit battle, that it would tell you, hey, you're in Hydra hard, like right there? Player, if you watch this, please make that happen. It does it in some areas when you come off of certain things, but it's usually after the battle. Yeah, it says it right there, right? It says Hydra hard. It'd be really helpful because sometimes you change the default, even though like I might select hard, maybe go off and come back in, and I think I have hard queued up, and I really don't. It'd be really nice if you had that hard in that first screen before we do this. I could probably rerun this again, but Ninja coming in at 200 million. By the way, this team pre-nerf used to get like 2 billion points by itself, but yeah, that all changed. But now we got the new champion coming in, so he might make Hydra silly again, I guess, apparently. And no, he's not going to get nerfed at all. And then, yeah, so we've already run these today, but he really helped me. He did not help me in the Sand Devils because I had the solo team on that one. But like this team right here, we've already kind of run these like crazy for the soul event, or the event that's going on currently at the time of this recording. But this was just amazing. And I already had like Emic team, but this was like a 2-minute team. He came in, he's like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this. But he also knew how to tweak gear. And I think that's what I'm going to miss the most about what Kodos brought. He never used something like the Hell Hades optimizer, and this is actually one of the slower runs that I would normally do. He didn't have to do the optimizer at all. I say slower runs, 7 seconds off the best time, but he could just come in and just be like, oh no, you need to tweak this, you need to tweak that, especially on like the Corrosa event. No, I'm sorry, not the Corrosa, Chimera event. He really amped it up where I could get an extra 40 or 50 million out. And it was just like, oh, you need these speeds or you need this. And he did it all just by looking at the gear and kind of filtering out and making the changes, adding whatever needed to be added. And he was just genius like that. So if you ever had the luxury of him logging into your account and being able to do some of that, it was amazing. He was a fantastic person for that. Okay, so I'm logged back into the Kodos account. And again, I don't know how much longer I have access to this account. I do know that we've reached out to the family, because I would love to make sure they know how to get onto the account and have it for themselves. I know Kodos had a brother, but one of the cool things is Doc, our interim clan leader at the moment, he makes memory bears. And I know he made Kodos a memory bear. Maybe we can get a picture of that. But he made me this amazing Zero Brew crew. You may have seen this in other videos, but it's even got the doll head neck joint swivel there. Our boy Doc is going to make one of these for the family, and I think what his plan is ship it to the different clan members to maybe sign it or do something like that, and then we're going to try to ship it to the family. So we reached out to the family to see if we can get an address to ship this to up in Canada. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. So shout out to Doc for doing that. That's amazing. And, same thing on this account, right? So I want to be able to make sure their family has access to the account, assuming they have access to his phone and be able to do the two-factor authentication. I know people in the clan said that his family weren't the most tech savvy in the world, but if they happen to see this video or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me and I will make sure you have the technical know-how to get this working, and so that you can take this account, because it belongs to Kodos' estate, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so just popping off the comments on the first video. So just right out of the rip, it was Tairoku responded back. I made mention to him and gave him a shout out on our video. So shout out to you, Tairoku, as well. But Kodos was an amazing part of the raid community. Thankful to have known him. You did a great job on this video as well. Glad to see that you were able to get in the account at least for a little while. Yeah, so and then Tairoku also made a video as well, and it was really cool to watch that because it kind of gave more of the dynamics of the cluster and some other things like that. So special shout out to you, Tairoku, for doing that. Next comment, so this is Clay1337. Kodos was a mentor and a friend since I started playing the game. He helped me and so many other people with his insane knowledge of the game. I've been in voice chat almost every evening during reset with him for the past couple of years. I can't express how shocking and sad this news of his death was. RIP, teacher and friend. And I'm adding the creepy heart hands to that. But yeah, Clay, yeah, awesome dude as well. Okay, and so I'm going to try to rapid fire as many of these as possible. So Modern Thinker 300 says, tragic news. Thank you for making a video to inform the community. Condolences to the family, the friends, and all who knew Kodos through raid. Absolutely. Cosmo for the win. I was in TC2 for a couple years. I remember when I was in the hospital with my lungs, Kodos reached out to me quite a bit to check up and even did an account takeover and rebuilt a bunch of my champions, etc. Pushing my account forward a huge amount. Brought me a bit of happiness when I was at my lowest. RIP to a very kind, awesome dude. Yeah, and that says it kind of the best. It didn't matter what you had going on in life, Kodos was there for you, right? I never knew him, but I hope he is getting all the OP mythicals wherever he is, and may his family, friends, and loved ones find peace. RSL should have a policy for when players pass away and their account goes to someone else instead of just being abandoned. I am from Mexico, so we celebrate death not as an ending, but as a new beginning. And I firmly believe that the people we lose are not gone until they are forgotten. So keep his memory alive. And one way would be for his account to go to someone who knew him. His passing is already sad, and knowing he loved the game and the fact that he got a mythical champion as his last champion makes his passing even sadder. So his account should be kept alive in his memory. RIP Kodos. Fly high, friend. Fly high. Wow. So Leo, that's from Leo Gar. Leo, again, reading this, I know I read it and I even made a snapshot of this. It kind of teared me up. But again, I want this to be positive, but I thought that was very beautiful, talking about the Mexican culture and things like that too. So I absolutely had to include this one in the video. And yeah, Plarium, it belongs to his estate, needs to go to his family, but it would be really cool, maybe if it's not for Kodos, but sometime in the future, that, someone else in the community passes. There's a way to get it if two-factor authentication is on, not get it for someone to have, but get it to again, like he said, hold on to the memory and honor the account, right? So at least we get to honor it now before we lose access to it forever. But thank you, Leo, for that. That was amazing. This was so sweet. I'm sorry, this is Casey Collection. This was so sweet of you to do for him. Condolences to his family. He did so much for my account, and I appreciate everything he did. Still in shock. He was such a wonderful guy to help everyone he could. He welcomed me into the clan a couple years ago when I knew nothing about the game and taught me so much. He will truly be missed. RIP Justin. And last but not least, at least from the comments from this video, and again, much love to everyone that made the comments. I really appreciate that. And that's really what we want to do to kind of close out the legacy for Kodos here. But this is from King Copium. By the way, shout out to King Copium. He streams on Twitch as well. One of my boys out on the Twitch verse, on the Twitches. He's my boy. 2 years ago, I started playing Raid. I used to get into the same general chat every day. Kodos would be in there. He helped me so much with so many things. Just helped some random noob who he could tell wanted to learn. He will be missed. He will be remembered. And now for the fun and the most amazing part. If you've been watching some of the streams and stuff, there have been some sneak peeks. But if you did not know, everyone asked, and I even said in the video, Kodos was saving up for the 5 million CVC points. He wanted the badge. He wanted to hit that. He'd been saving up for a very, very long time. And in fact, in those videos you saw, I had 134,000 energy there, and I had like 44,000 gems that Kodos had been stockpiling and building up and building up and building up. And I am proud. It was very hard to do. Very proud to say that we were able to achieve it. I'll just scroll down. There it is. CVC Master. It says 5,000K, which equates to 5 million points. So I'm glad to say we were able to do it. In fact, CVC Max, you can see it right here. It says 5 million. It was like 5,004,000 by the time that was the end. I got a few extra buffer points just to make sure. For the clan that we fought in that CVC, I do apologize. You ran into a buzzsaw on that one, but we were able to get it done for Kodos. I'm so happy that we were able to do that. Now, I will say, for anybody that's asking, or the next thing you're thinking is like, what do you know, or what can I do if I want to get 5 million points in CVC? Well, I can absolutely tell you, and I don't know the exact numbers, but just to quantify it now while it's still fresh in my mind after doing it last week. Now, I did stay up to 2 or 3 in the morning the night that it was ending. I got a lot slower start at the beginning. If you ever want to hit it yourself, essentially you're going to need at least 135,000 energy and 20,000, maybe 22,000 gems. On top of that, we burned all of the books on the champions. We also did some leveling up with some food and some things like that. But all of the books, and in fact, we did, I probably had like 11 or 12 mythical books, and I think we had over 100 legendary books. This is how many we recouped since we did CVC last week. But I think we had like 110 legendary books. On top of that, we pulled everything out of the fragment summons event. And again, that's on that shard pulling video. So we went ahead and pulled everything out of that, but it was champions like Lamasu and Empress. In fact, one of the comments on that was, where's his Empress? So Empress was on the account. He was just waiting to be pulled, so along with Lamasu and a whole bunch of other champions. So we went through that list and pulled everything. In fact, we actually have a red dot. Where's this red dot? Oh yeah, Lamasu or Lemoniski. Yeah, Lemoniski. Been logging every day just to make sure he got that champion as well on this account. But so it was all of those champions that he had, including Mod, I think too, was in there ready to be pulled, and we pulled the Mod as well. Yeah, you can see we don't have Mod in here at all to be able to fuse. For whatever reason we are, or I guess he had over included some Mod fragments. So I guess these are just dead fragments that are always going to sit here. But Mod was also pulled on the account as well. And then on top of all of that, we had about 26 or 27 ancient shards. We had, I don't know, a handful of void shards, maybe 10 or 11 primals to pull. We had 48. There's only one sitting there now, but we had 48 sacred shards to pull on that account. Again, if you watch that video, you get points based on new champions. Again, if it's a new legendary champion on your account, you get 30,000 points. If it's an existing champion, meaning you already have a copy of it on your account, it comes in at 10,000 points. But again, if you go back and watch that video, we got a lot of legendaries during that pulling session. It was amazing. So that's basically what it took. 134,000 energy, like 110 legendary books, 11 or 12 mythical books. We used some potions, some love loss, so those were very minor points. And we did several of the, like, we did tag team arena, and we did some champion training stuff. Like we ran, I think I got the scrolls for people. I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter. And then that kind of shards that we just went through. Also, one other thing to note, if you were doing this, so on the first day, I only got to about 1.2 million, and I thought that I would be running Spider on his account, and his Spider run is a little bit slower. His best time you can see here is 9 seconds, but not every run was like that. The other thing to consider, even when using the RSL helper, which we did absolutely use, you still have to sell those artifacts. I think for a while there, I was keeping the artifacts. I was like, oh, I have to sell them because I'm going to stack up his entire things as many times we got to run this. So I do think that when you have artifacts to sell, it makes it for a longer run. And I'll just go ahead and show you. For a while there, I went into Sand Devils, and we ran Sand Devils. And so here's his Sand Devils run. And I will say, on paper, I think this one ended up looking faster, but several times it is not faster. Now I say this, and we're going to get one of the faster runs. But see, like right here, now we're going through the buff ups, and that's a little bit slower run. And again, you got to calculate all the time it takes you to kind of go through all this stuff. So that was a 15-second run. His best run was 8 seconds. So I want to say on average, this was, I don't know, 20 some odd seconds or so. I felt like maybe I can run it a few more times. I'm not going to. But then I figured that his Phantom Shoguns was a lot faster. And I say all that to say, if you are going to ever attempt this yourself and you do want the 5 million point badge, you need to take your fastest team and also consider if your fastest team is Sand Devils and or Phantom Shogun, because yeah, so that says 14 seconds. Keep in mind that that clock stops, but I do know on average, this ended up being about 23 seconds. There were, again, some longer runs, and RSL Helper will show you those average times. But this one was the one that was the fastest for us. So shout out to that. And then basically I just ran this over and over and over again. I ran all 130 some odd thousand points. And this went to, again, 2 or 3 in the morning when I finally got it done. I was sitting there doing the math. Oh, I'm getting 800. By the way, it was 800 points a pop per run. Also 800 points a pop per spider as well. But again, you got to take the time to sell those artifacts, where this would just re-up a lot faster. So something to consider if you ever consider doing that. That's basically what all it took for us to get there. We did show this in the first video, but just as a final goodbye, these were all his champions. He had a lot of mythicals. And for those of you who don't know Kodos, he had a lot of good luck pulling shards throughout his career playing Raid Shadow Legends, or his time playing Raid Shadow Legends. But also on top of that, yeah, oh, you can see these were probably where all the ones that we summoned, but we got Ishiyama, Artor, Bells. That was one that we pulled on the account. Elagaius, 2 Narmas, a Noble, which Noble was new on the account. Saoirse got pulled out. There's your High Mother mod. Knave got pulled out. And then, of course, we just got that one today. So, again, special shout out to the clan who gave me a lot of encouragement to do this and were cheering me on along the way and kind of helping me crunch some of the numbers and things like that. So, shout out to each and every one of you. You know, all of you that reached out to me and supported me. But Athalia said, "This was amazing, Zero Bro. Your hard work on this CVC has made us all thankful that this was possible. May he rest in peace now." Next one. So, this was Cricks. Oh, and his name reminds me. So last Saturday, funny little story for Kodos. Kodos, you're going to appreciate this. His most wanted champion on his account was Crisk. He never ever pulled a Crisk. And that was like the meme for him. I'll never get a Crisk. I'll never get a Crisk. So on Saturday, I wasn't even recording it for myself. Siffy was on the progressive chance. I had 3 or 4 shards that were voids to pull. And I was like, well, might as well pull my 3 dailies. I'll never get a legendary on this. Sure as I don't know what. And of course, I wanted the Siffy because I don't have Siffy on my account. Shard number 2 was a legendary, and of the shards, it was Crisk. And I said to myself right then, I was like, oh, Kodos would eat this up if he had known I wanted the Siffy and I got the Crisk, and that was his most wanted champion, for those of you who don't know. So a little side note. But so Cricks here said, "Damn, nice work, man. I'm sure he would be happy about it. He did say he wanted to reach that goal for his account and he was preparing for this for a long time. I haven't said anything about it much simply because I don't have the right words for it, and I didn't know Justin for as long because we recently merged and I'm heavily busy with my job and remodeling my family's home. But he did check up on me from time to time, which I truly find thoughtful. I respected that very much. And that tells me how genuinely nice he was as a person. I do hope you find the guy. I do hope you guys find comfort with each other that were really close to him. I'm sure it is devastating, but I think that this sums it up nicely in the other ones that we read about the person who was in the hospital and stuff. But that just sums it up nicely. He, you know, obviously helped a lot of people in the game, but he was just genuinely nice human being and just checked up on people and made sure they were, I think he even said, Taruku even said in his video that he ran his account for him. So Booster Drought says, I just want to say thank you to all the members of this guild, new and old. Thank you to Zero Brew for finishing just what Justin was going to do. I'm not the most talkative person on here, but the pride I feel for everyone here is huge. Honor Justin. Period. Honor Justin. Keep kicking ass. Period. It is what he wanted. Help others. Be a good person. They are far too few of those in the world. And then at the end, he says, also, I suggest a clan name change to the Kodosium -2. The Kodosium -2. That was good. And then for the last comments just out of the clan, I thought this was really cool because he did it in a 2-part piece. But Waming Ti said, although I don't play the game as much as I used to, and in fact got removed from the clan due to inactivity, it was great seeing that Kodos achieved the 5 million CVC points. And then he then posted where back in April, it looks like, yeah, so sorry, the dates were a little funky for me. It looked like August because, you know, us in the United States, we do the dates differently. But day, month, year on this post. And he said, good time to chase your 5 million trophy. Cricks is hidden in one of your voids. And there he's even referencing the Chris that we just talked about. And then Kodos even said back, I don't even have enough resources yet. I'm about 70% there, maybe more like 65%. So even back in April, Kodos has been, you know, pushing for this and was going to do it this past CVC. So I'm so glad that we got it done for him. And the final thing that I just want to say here, and this person absolutely deserves this call out because they are just a good human being, I feel like, as well. But right now we're in the middle of CVC. So today's Wednesday. We've got the last day of Siege. Sorry, I said CVC. Siege. Yeah, it ends in 13 hours and we're not winning this siege, but we are going up against this clan. I don't know how to say that name. This clan reached out to me personally. And it says clan leader is Epic. So it was the clan leader, I guess, reached out to me. It says USA Epic. He said, hey, Zero Brew. Yeah, I am the leader of the clan you are currently against in Siege. Once we realized who we were up against, one of my members looked you up and saw the news about your leader. We are extremely sorry to hear of the loss, and our heartfelt sympathies goes out to you and the members of the TC2. We hope you the best and hope your clan is doing well and all things considered. Obviously, that person Epic didn't need to reach out to us. I thought it was really cool that he did. And we actually had a few back and forths on it. I actually was able to defeat this nasty lizard only team. Actually, no, this is the high elf only team. I was able to get this one. This was Galleon Pact only team. By the way, shout out to Skadra, one of their top players, insane team. We were able to get it done on my account, but not before losing a few times. I even tried it with Kodos' account. I don't know his account very well, but I was like, oh, Kodos has got the highest player power account, so maybe we take a shout out to that. So anyway, shout out to the Epic clan there. I really appreciate the shout out. And we've been talking about Epic and I were talking back and forth. He's like, usually we're a pretty cutthroat clan, but we considered maybe, you know, letting you guys win or coming up some way of doing a draw or something like that. I was like, no, don't do that. I said, Kodos would have wanted you to cut our throats, honestly. So he said, good. Now I don't feel as bad, but I, you know, had the thought and I was like, no, you're good, dude. Just slaughter us. It's all good. We are recouping, and it just means the world to you. And it's cool that the community's out there that someone like that can just reach out and just say, hey, our condolences, and now we're gonna slit your throat. So Slid away, Epic. Slid away, man. You're good. Thank you. And as I close out this video, I want to say thank you to everyone for all the support and all the positive, kind words. I'm sure if Kodos is looking down, he is appreciating everything that the entire community has done for him. And then again, a special shout out to Toroku as well. But that being said, the one thing I'm going to miss the most, and he would always come in and give me different playlists, and we had very similar taste in musics. I'm one of those old school EDM heads. I love that Eurodance stuff from the 90s, your Labouches, your Real McCoys, your Snaps. I loved all that stuff. So he used to give me all kinds of stuff, but one of his, in fact, it was his favorite song, and someone made mention to it in the clan. I don't know if we're gonna necessarily pop it, but they said, you know, hey, maybe he's up there playing this song, and what he would do on my stream was make me do a dance using his channel redemption points. That and drink water. So here's your final water drink to you, Kodos, because my throat is very parched. And here's what you would do, or what I would want to close this video out in your honor. And yes, probably due to copyright reasons, I can't play the song. Maybe my editor can figure something out. But that being said, I'm gonna sing it with my voice. His favorite song was Satisfaction. Here you go. This is for you, Kodos. Dig-a-doo-doo-doo-doo. Dig-a-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Dig-a-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. By the way, I know that's probably cringe. I don't care. I do know that was cringe, but I really don't care. Kodos would have loved it. And by the way, he calls that video a power safety tool video. If you know the video, you know. All right. That's it. Kodos, much love to you, homie. And thank you to all the community for showing such an outpouring of love. And for anybody that's lost a family member or friend or a gaming buddy, you know what it's like, especially when they were meant so much to so many people. So it was really cool to go through this. And this should be my last video on this. But anyway, thank you for all the love. Bye.